All right, welcome to the part 3 of the September 8th week, okay? I think I've been accidentally been saying 7, but, you know, same thing, okay? Again, just make sure you're doing your note naming sheets for the week, okay? Again, take attendance like that, okay? In your packets, you should have seen for most of you, you've seen this before, scale sheets, okay? I put another one just in there just in case you accidentally return your last one, okay? Make sure I'm not going to do anything with scales, obviously, but you need to be able to play these for your test, okay? So, if you look at it, it tells you exactly on the keyboard where to play these scales, all right? Use that to your advantage, okay? Practice your scales as much as you can. I know none of you have the right equipment at home to practice, except you, Roosevelt. Roosevelt, you do have a bell kit. Everybody else doesn't really have the means of practicing this stuff, so make sure you practice the stuff as much as you can, okay? All right, with that being said, get out chart 10, okay? Like I said, this is going to be the last video for the week. Chart 10, okay? You notice it's got 10 and 10.5, okay? This is over syncopation. All right, syncopation is a combination also, okay? Not a combination, okay? Syncopation is another form of ties, okay? Is another form, another use of what ties will look like, okay? So let's go ahead. I'm like last video. I'm only gonna use certain measures. Okay, certain measures. So the first two we're gonna look at is measures 2 and 4. Okay, I'm gonna look at measures 2 and 4 of line 1 and 2. Okay, so if you want to, you can go ahead and try to figure out how to count it yourself. But I'm gonna go over it. Okay, we're gonna do measures 2 and 4 of line 1 and 2. Okay. Alright, so right up here I got written measure line 1 and line 2, measures 2 and 4, okay? Okay. So, let's look at line 1 first, okay? Like I said, syncopation is all about ties too. You notice in measures 2 and 4, you have a tie between the 8th, the 2nd, and 3rd 8th note each, okay? If you remember, what these tied 8th notes are doing is taking 2 half beats, adding them together, and making 1 beat. Because if you take half and half, add two different halves together, you get 1. Okay, right? Yeah. So what they're doing is basically turning the 2nd and 3rd 8th note into a quarter note, and that's where we get this right here. Okay. Okay. These two. Okay. Those two, that's exactly what they're doing right there. They're taking these 2 8th notes and churning it into a quarter note. Because remember, 2 8th notes equal 1 quarter note. So these are going to be counted exactly the same, okay? You're going to start off with a big 1, a big 2, now a little and. You won't say and there, all right? You won't say the and count, okay? Oh, sorry. I said that wrong. Sorry. Scratch that. I'm going to write that, okay? You got a big 1, and then a big and count. Sorry. Big and count and a little 2 count. Okay? I scratched that. I said that backwards, okay? It should have been a big 1, a big and, a little 2, okay? Because that 3rd 8th note is starts the 2nd beat, and then a big and then a big 3, and a big 4. Alright, so same thing over here. Alright, you got a big 1, a big and, a little 2, because this 2 is tied, the downbeat of 2 is tied to the and count of 1, and then a big and then a big 3, and a little 4 for the half note. Alright? So notice on the second line, okay? So if let's scratch that, okay? If I was just to count this, it'd be 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. Or 3. So 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 3. Alright, notice I'm not saying any of the small numbers, okay? This is what this would sound like on paper or on the drum. 1, 2, ready, and 1. Sorry, I'm doing it again. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. Okay? Notice that I didn't click on any of my small numbers. So like I was saying, what they're trying to show you between line 1 and line 2 of measures 2 and 4 is that these two eighth notes are going to be transferred down to what to look like a quarter note. All right, that's where we get our syncopation. All right, one. All right, what's our next thing up here? And. All right, that gets and. Now two, you could put two on here too. All right, you can put a small two, but there is nothing. There really isn't anything to represent the two here. All right, because remember, quarter notes only get one symbol or get one number, and in this case, the number in this case is gonna be the and. So I wouldn't really want you to put two there. I would just put the and. So one and, but we know two is in here, so that next eighth note has to get an and count two, and then 3, 4. Again over here, big one, big and. There would be a small two here, but we're not going to put it, and then another and another, and a big 3, and a little 4. Okay? So if you look, 1, 1, and. Skip the 2 because we won't say 2 anyways, okay? So 1, 1, and, 3, 3, 4, 4. Again over here, 1, 1, and, 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay? So they would sound exactly the same. 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4. All right, try that with me. We're doing this line, okay? I want you to look at it like this line, okay? 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4. Are you understanding? I really truly hope you're understanding. Okay, I'm saying that a lot. I truly hope you understand everything I teach you in this virtual world. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead. I want to do the first two measures of the line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The first two measures of line 5, the one that starts with 17. Do that on your own and count it and see what you come up with. Alright, so hopefully by now you've done this, okay? You've counted it out and everything. You've got the correct answers, right? Let's see. Alright, first measure. Alright, should have been big 1, big 2. This eighth note would get big 3, which means we get every time we have an eighth note, there's got to be an and count next, okay? If you notice, every time there's an eighth note, the and count comes next. So this next quarter note has to get the and of 3, and then which also, if a quarter note ever gets the and count, then it always gets the downbeat of the downbeat of the next beat. So a little 4 would be in there too, and then we should have been followed with the and. So we should have had 1, 2, 3, and. All right, and then we look at the second measure. We start off with an eighth note. So 1. Every time we have an eighth note, there's got to be an and. So there's our and. 2 would be in that quarter note. So we got and then 3, 4. So the second measure would be 1 and 3, 4. Okay. Now we put them together. This is what they're going to sound like. 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 3, 4. The biggest part that's probably going to trick you up is these two eighth notes. Okay, this and this 1 will probably trick you up every time. Watch me, listen, watch me do it again. 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 3, 4. All right, try that with me. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. Oh, I messed it up. Sorry. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 3, 4. Okay. Again, hope you're understanding this stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and go over to chart 10.5. I don't actually think I have it written in there as 10.5 to do, but it's always good practice. All right, it's always good practice. All right, so I want you to go ahead and try line number 1. Okay. I think line number 1 is actually one of the hardest ones on this page. Maybe not all. Not all. Okay, we'll do like 1 or 2. I see some ones where they got quarter notes in a row. We'll get down to that here in a second. So go ahead and just try line number 1. Okay, try line number 1. All right. So this is line number 1. Okay, I'm kind of running out of time. I only got about 5 minutes left, so I'm just gonna go through this. Okay, and see if you got the right thing. All right, so we should start off with 1 and 2 and, oh, sorry, no, 1 and 2, 3 and, okay, so we got 1 and 2, 3 and, then the second measure you should have gotten 1, 2 and, 3 and, so 1, 2 and 3 and. For third measure, you should have started off with a 1 and 3, 4 and the last measure you should have had 1 and 3 and 4. Okay, that's what you should have had. Okay, if you messed up something, fix it. Okay, so look, I'm just gonna go through it real quick. Okay, I'm trying to not make this in 4 parts. Okay, this side we'll review on this side a lot more. Okay, this side's a little bit hard, but I just wanted to get you acquainted to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna click and count through this real quick. You can do it with me if you want to or not. Okay, 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 3, 4 and 1 and 3 and 4. All right. I think the biggest problem between each measure is just going to be doing the ands. When the ands come on the beat 4, okay, those are probably going to be the biggest problem. All right, watch me do it one more time. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and. Oh, I messed it up. I'm sorry, I messed that up. I messed that totally up. Okay, let me do it one more time. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 3, 4 and 1 and 3 and 4. All right, easy peasy, right? I hope so. All right, with that being said, okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, okay, because right now it's kind of easy. All right. There's a lot of stuff on this one. There's a lot of stuff on this one I can go to. Okay, if you look at line number 4, okay, if you look at line number 4, it has the dotted quarter notes. Okay, I'm just gonna write this one down real quick. All right, this down here. Okay, right down here. Bam. This is measure 1 of the line 4 where it says 13. As you notice, we've been starting when we had the dotted quarter right here. It would usually be on beat 1. But as you notice, it's not on beat 1. It's actually going to be on the end of 1. Okay? So when we do this, when you count this one, that's going to get 1. And this is going to be and then that dot in this case will be the and of 2. Alright? So 1 and 3 and 4 and. It's kind of weird, okay? Because you don't have a 2 at all. Because that is actually the and of 2. Because remember, a quarter note gets 2 eighth notes, okay, right? So, since we started the quarter note on the and count, it also got to get another. It's got to get a number, okay? And since we've already put 1, the next choice is 2. So 1 and 2 and. Okay, that's where that and is right there. Okay, so 1 and 3 and 4 and. All right, it's kind of weird. You kind of have to wait. Really, you're just sitting there waiting until the downbeat of 3 to go on. All right, so watch again. 1 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Again, challenge yourself to do the rest of the sheet. Okay, I will pick up with this next on Monday. Okay, because there is some other stuff on here I want you to see. Because if you look at that measure 25 where it has eighth, quarter, eighth, that'd be 1 and 1. Those quarter notes would all, in that case, would all be the and counts and not downbeats. Okay, they're all those quarter notes happen on the upbeat. So if you look at that measure 25 again, it'll go 1 and 1. Okay, again, we'll cover this again next week. Okay, syncopation is really hard, especially at a distance. Okay, peace, love. Hope you have a good weekend. I will see you next week.